In this week's Do Something With Your Marketing, I want to encourage you to think a little differently and do things a little differently when it comes to expected slow times. People love to talk about things like, the week between Christmas and New Year's is a total loss, summer slowdown, just fold up shop and there's no point in doing anything, nobody's around. Well, it's not necessarily true. Let's take a look at some of the data, historical data, not predictive analytics in this case, and dig into why you might want to think differently about this. This is the search term Outlook out of office. This is using Google search data. This is the last 5 years. We see, of course, the expected things. We see the weeks when people are searching the most for this term. Logically, if you're searching the most for this term, you're looking to turn on your out of office autoresponders so that you can go on vacation. What can we glean from that? Well, if we care about sending email to people that they actually read, we want to send it when this term is the lowest, right? When the periods of time when that term gets lower. Interestingly enough, by the way, if you look at the times when this gets lower, it's been getting lower and lower year after year, which means that more people are working in the office than ever before. But that's an entirely different topic. So how do we turn this into something that's a little bit more useful? Let's switch this to a quarter view, and let's then add in something like week number. And there's our error. And then from that quarter view, what if we were to add in some week data things? So let's rearrange this a little bit here. And flip this on its side and just make this quarters. So if we look now, when is that term the lowest? Well, obviously it's going to be the lowest here. This is when people talk about summer slowdown. We can see that term getting bigger and bigger and bigger. In fact, let's do this. Let's make this a little bit easier to read. So we're going to create a calculated field and make this the inverse so that when this is the lowest. So I'll do 100 minus, because this is a normalized term, remove that, put that in here, and now logically when the bars are highest, that's when people are in the office. So we see, of course, here's Q2. Once you get to the end of Q2, yes, summer slowdown. That end of Q2 on average is the lowest. But then look what happens when we get into Q3. Once you're in Q3, there is significant volume. There's significant amounts of time when actually, yeah, people are in the office. So let's go ahead and slap just an average line on the pane. So during Q3, is the whole summer slow? No. In fact, usually this August is a great period of time, and even sort of the end of July is a great period of time to get some business done. In Q4, do people just leave for the holidays and never come back? Well, yes, sometimes, depending on what period of time those holidays fall. But look here. Even though this is typically the Thanksgiving week and these are the Christmas and New Year's weeks here, the period between them is actually fairly robust on average over the last 5 years. And the period of time before that is fairly robust. So is the summer slowdown a time if we just throw in the towel and say, I give up, I quit, there's nothing to do here, I'm done? No, absolutely not. In fact, the opposite is true. Something I experienced this past week, I was expecting to be a totally quiet week, absolutely no business whatsoever, because it was a holiday week and the holiday fell right on that Wednesday. So people are going to take off on both sides of the holiday or just say, heck with it, I'm out for the whole week. Got more responses and more business than ever before during that period of time. And I started to think about why. And the answer is that we live in such a noisy time right now. It is so noisy. There's millions of emails just dropping into our inboxes every single day that when you have the quiet period, the quiet time, the slow week, the slow month, whatever, that means your competitors aren't playing ball, right? That means that your customers, your prospective customers, they're not getting inundated anymore, right? They're getting a breather from the constant flood, which means that if you are continuing normal business operations during those times, you can be heard without having to go absolutely hog wild in terms of the amount of money you spend or shouting as loud as you possibly can. There are no conferences because you'd have to be insane to schedule a conference during like a 4th of July week here in the United States. No one would come. So give some thought to that as you do your marketing. As you do marketing, when are the slow times? When are the quiet times? When are the periods of time when people are not getting swamped by your fellow marketers broadcasting as loud and as fast as they can? And maybe that's a time where you can catch some attention that you otherwise might not be able to get. So, what to take away from this? The quiet times could be your advantage. They could be a period of time when you can actually be heard, especially if you are competing against much bigger companies, much louder companies. If your market space is really crowded, use the quiet time to maybe get seen in an inbox or a social media feed when everybody else is taking the week off because it's the holiday and they know business never gets done during those times. Quiet times could be your advantage. So that's this week's Do Something With Your Marketing. As always, please subscribe to the YouTube channel and the newsletter, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care. If you want help with your company's data and analytics, visit braintrustinsights.com today and let us know how we can help you.